It's not just going to be for the Pac-12 tournament. UCLA's Jalen Clark is out for the year. Tony Gonsolin is likely to miss out on the opening day roster for the Dodgers. And a question, should the Rams let go of Troy Hill again? Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It is March 9th, 2023. In a few hours, it's going to be wheels up, flying back home from Portland, back home to be with the wife. Looking forward to it. But until then, let's have a little chit chat about LA. If you like the content that we put out, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. It'll keep my eyes open while I'm in the airport. Before we go through the news and notes, a quick look at the scoreboard. Kawhi Leonard scores 24. Paul George adds 23. The Clippers defeated Toronto 108-100. With the victory, the Clippers moved up from 8th in the Western Conference to 6th. So if they keep this up, they avoid the play-in tournament. Meanwhile, today, it's going to be a lovely day for LA teams. Two of them are in the Pac-12 tournament. Colorado will take on UCLA at noon. The winner of that game takes on the winner of Washington State and Oregon tomorrow. Also, Arizona State is going to take on USC. Tip-off is allegedly going to be 8:30 p.m. Trust me, it's going to be much later. But the winner of that game will face Stanford or Arizona tomorrow. The Kings are going to be at Colorado tonight. That game's at 6. And it's strange. The defending Stanley Cup champion Avalanche, if they were in the same division as LA, they would be looking up at the Kings in the standings. And finally, in the round of 16 in CONCACAF Champions League, down in Costa Rica, LAFC is going to face LD Angelenos at 7 o'clock. Now, before we get to the top story about UCLA, I want to make a quick side note to the supporters of LAFC. It is apparently a sign of great disrespect if you guys mispronounce the Costa Rica team's name. Oh, really? You don't want your name mispronounced? Don't name your team LB Abelspadagaddoodle. If you don't want that, give it a simpler name. Look, people know who've watched this channel for a long time know that I'm a Galaxy supporter. I get that. But I'm going to stand behind the black and gold on this little topic here. No doubt about it. You know why? Because I may not like everything about LAFC, but I can pronounce LAFC. So enjoy your time in Costa Rica, fellas, and do your best to beat the living hell out of LD Abracadabra. Because if it's a great sign of disrespect, I hate to break this to you, Costa Rica, but up in America, we don't go and spend a lot of time creating team names with something we smeared against a wall and giving it a name. We know in LA how to pronounce the Rams, how to pronounce Lakers. I mean, seriously, if you have to go to take special classes to learn how to pronounce your team's name, how do you even, if you guys have to take that much effort to figure out how to pronounce your team's name, maybe that's why there's so much immigration going on in the United States. The people who are smart enough to sit there and go, you know what, we need easier team names. Let's move to the United States. That I can understand. Oh, well, we're just going to stay here. We're going to hang out with the drug cartels and root so hard for LD Abernathy. What the hell, guys? So, yesterday we reported how UCLA basketball coach Mick Cronin couldn't be authorized to give any more updates on Jalen Clark. Oh, no, I run this program, but I am not authorized. And he made it sound like he was Sid in the movie LA Confidential. Oh, I can't I can't give you any Jalen Clark information. It's off the record, on the QT, and very hush-hush. Well, it ain't that hush-hush of hushiness anymore. Jalen Clark is out for the year. Yesterday, they called it a lower leg injury. Yeah, he jacked up his Achilles. And I feel bad saying that. We can't verify whether or not, by the way, the Achilles is torn. And that would be absolutely horrifying for him, because that takes a long time to recover. And even after the surgery and the rehab, maybe you never recover from it. Kobe Bryant was never the same player after he ruptured his Achilles, except for the very final game of his career against Utah. So for UCLA, what does this mean? Well, Clark is obviously their top defender. Now, the LA Times anticipates that sixth-man David Singleton is going to be promoted to the starting lineup. Cronin is already spinning this as an opportunity for others. Look, that's just coach speak. Every coach says that. Next man up. This, that, and the other. It's a loss. Let's be honest with ourselves. But is it the loss? I'm not so sure. I think Jaime Jaquez Jr. has been a very well-rounded player. I think Tiger Campbell likewise. I'm not necessarily certain that Amari Bailey is an elite, is going to wind up being an elite defender. After all, he's one and done. He's still looking at the NBA. So it's going to sting. But I don't think it's a kill shot for the Bruins at all. I really don't. Dave Roberts says he, quote, doesn't feel good, unquote, about Tony Gonsolin being ready for opening day. That's abrupt. We only heard he was being scratched from a start because he turned his ankle. Apparently, it's much worse than that. The injured ankle was described as tender. X-rays have not revealed a fracture. But if it's an injured ankle, from what I hear athletes telling me, there's usually two types of injured ankles. One that takes you out for 2 weeks, and another that takes you out for approximately a month, maybe a little longer. So you add a month to this, it's going to be April 9th, April 10th. Yeah, you're talking about the regular season starting. So there's that. Gavin Lux not only tore the anterior cruciate ligament in his knee, but he also strained an anterior collateral ligament. And for those of you who have never had knee problems, the anterior cruciate ligament in the middle of your knee, there are two ligaments attaching, that basically attach the joint, and they cross, hence the phrase cruciate. The anterior is being the one that's closer to the front of the knee. The collateral ligaments are the ones literally on the side of your leg, one on each side of your leg. And the lateral one would be the one on the outside of your leg. Now, this was all determined by a pre-surgical MRI. Dave Roberts said the surgery to repair the ACL went well, but the LCL was actually more than a strain. So there's still no exact timeline for Lux's return, other than to say he's out for the season. And I would assume that the LCL is going to heal on its own. Roberts also likes Mookie Betts, apparently as much as Chris Taylor now. And this is going to be weird, because basically one of the plans is to use this MVP, Mookie Betts, to play as many as 40 games at second base. 40 games, a fourth of the season. The man has only played second base 30 games his entire career. Meanwhile, he's won 6 Gold Gloves out in right field. Now, Betts, for his part, is joking about it. He's like, quote, I may retire from playing second base, but people don't like it, unquote. Miguel Rojas is 6 for 13 at the plate this spring with 1 home run. However, he said he hates the pitch clock. He's having issues with it. One of the reasons is because he can see the pitch clock while he's at the plate. He can see it out in center field. It's distracting to him. And, quote, it creates a little bit of anxiety, unquote. All I can say is I suppose in the future they'll move the clock. No idea. We also mentioned how Miguel Vargas was instructed not to swing the bat, and pitchers were still walking him like 95% of the time. Well, behold, the Dodgers are expected to lift the restriction any day now, so he'll be a little happier. If the season started today for the Rams, Troy Hill would be a starting cornerback along with Jalen Ramsey at the so-called star position and Kobe Durant at the nickel, which LA utilizes a lot. They play a lot of nickel defense. Of course, that's not the case. The season isn't starting. The Rams have to be salary cap compliant in less than a week. And Hill is going to be a free agent. So are the Rams really comfortable with ripping apart their entire secondary, if you think about it? Do you let Troy Hill go and trade Jalen Ramsey, as all these rumors seem to be persisting? I can't see it. If anything, I think you either have to let one go or let the other go, but not both. Because then if you're doing that, you're looking at an extremely young and questionable competency in the defensive backfield. So honestly, I say only one of them goes. And frankly, they let Troy Hill go once before. They let him go to Cleveland. And when he came back to LA, he was pretty inconsistent last year. So if you want to guess, I say Hill goes as a free agent, but I don't think they're trading Jalen Ramsey. I'd be stunned if they do. D'Angelo Russell is possible to return Friday for the Lakers when they play Toronto. And Anthony Davis said that he saw the Pau Gasol ceremony a couple of days ago and said he wants to be included in that group. That group including George Mikan, Will Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, all with their jersey numbers retired up in the rafters. Quote, the list of big men that came through the Lakers organization and left their mark. It's not hard to think about it. Whenever my body tells me that I'm done playing, hopefully I'm able to come back here and have that ceremony, unquote. Now, let's be real. He's playing like it, but he's playing like it now. If you want to be considered a true Laker great, you have to come up with stats and stuff better than Gasol. You at least need that second ring and possibly top Gasol with a third. I think I'm on solid ground with that little hot take. LA Galaxy acquired Lucas Caligari from Brazil. We already knew that. But the reason Galaxy fans should be happy is apparently he's not just a warm body in a jersey, okay? He has been praised for winning the ball at right back, for his creativity when he wins the ball. So in other words, he doesn't just slide tackle, he bumps you off the ball and knows exactly where to place it to get a counterattack going. All of that, The Athletic compared his, quote, advanced analytics to Julian Araujo, who, of course, as we all know, departed for FC Barcelona. And apparently, this might be too simplistic of a comparison, but The Athletic thinks the two are comparable, that it's not going to be much of a downgrade. It's possible that LA has found a capable replacement at right back. And by the way, Caligari could also play left back, so he's versatile as well. Having said that, let's be real. The Galaxy have some problems that are going to be a lot harder to solve than who replaced Julian Araujo. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Let me know what you think about UCLA and their tournament chances without Jalen Clark. Let me know what you think about all these Dodger updates. And if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. I'll be back tomorrow, back at home. And Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Porta El Queso production. Take care.